Hey everybody, welcome to Focus Garage. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Hummer.
What?
Yeah, right. Who's talking about Hummer?
That was like 2009.
Sorry, man. I'm trying to get back in rap music videos here. So, unless you're living under a rock, you probably saw the 10,000 articles shared all over Facebook, Twitter, all over the place that Hummer is going to be back with a new vehicle. And it's not exactly Hummer. It's going to be released under GMC, but it's going to be called a Hummer as the model name. Regardless, we're here to kind of tell you what we know about the Hummer, and a lot of this has been kept under wraps, and we're going to be seeing more moving forwards here. We're going to tell you what do we think about it, what it's kind of projected to make for horsepower and torque, what we might think it costs price-wise, and just anything we know and want to talk about the Hummer.
And speculate off the
there's going to be a lot of speculation
and
here.
Hopefully, this is before Chicago Auto Show. I don't know when the videos are going to come out, and hopefully we'll see it there.
And even if we don't see it there, I do want to grab somebody from GMC to ask them about it, see if maybe we can get them to leak some information or tell us about it. So
they didn't even show any concept or anything like that.
So all we know is there's going to be a teaser ad during the Super Bowl, which would going to be tomorrow. I don't know, again, when this is going to air, but tomorrow is the Super Bowl. They're going to do a teaser ad there, and then sometime in May is when they're going to officially reveal the Hummer. So that's what I know so far. No, so you won't get much about it there, but you're going to get a teaser in February and then the full reveal in May. So what do we know so far? GM says that this truck is going to have the ability to run 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. Now, how's it going to do that? Because it's going to be fully electric. And this is where I'll jump to Onder, since he's in engineering and can kind of talk to a little bit more about this. Fake engineer. And just kind of let me know, what do you think about this? Share your thoughts.
I mean, to be honest, depending on the weight of the truck, and I'm assuming since it's a truck, it's going to be pretty heavy. Looking at the Teslas and all that stuff, they're pretty heavy. I'm assuming it's going to have minimum dual motors, front and rear, so you have all-wheel drive, launch capability. And also, I'm assuming, this is all my assumption, of course, it has a direct drive, no transmission whatsoever, so you get that torque down.
100% of your torque, 100% of the time.
Yeah, to the wheels right away with no gear reduction whatsoever, and you just take off.
Now, here's what I kind of wanted to touch on as a real big controversial thing, because they're using this obviously as a marketing ploy, but people don't understand and they're taking it too far. So GM is rating this thing as making 1,000 horsepower, which, don't get me wrong, for a dual motor electric vehicle,
that's not possible. I mean, that's not impossible.
That's not impossible. That's within the realm of realistic. Yeah. But what's really driving people crazy is GM is saying this thing makes 11,500 foot-pounds of torque. Not 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. No, you've got these Ram 3500s that make 1,000 pounds of torque.
Yeah.
No. They're saying this makes 11,500 foot-pounds of torque. Now,
where's it at? Where's this making it?
And exactly. So they're not saying wheel torque. They're not saying, torque of the motor or anything. The way that they're getting away with this is the way they're calculating it. So there's been a study done, and before we kind of get into how they calculate it, we'll just show you the differences. An independent company tested a BMW electric vehicle that BMW rated around 7,300 foot-pounds of torque, so 7,300. On a dyno, they dynoed this here, and it made around 850. Wheel torque.
Yeah.
So that's your difference, going from 7,300 to 850. So when you translate this into real-world numbers, it's definitely not the same appeal as you're getting as at 11,000 torque there. So explain where they're getting that.
Before I get into a lot of physics and stuff, you have an engine that makes a torque, let's say 100 pounds of torque, right? And then you have a transmission that has a final gear ratio, let's say 4:1. So at the end of the transmission, you're making 400 pounds of torque. And then that goes into if it's an all-wheel drive,
transfer case, differentials.
You have gear ratios everywhere. And at the end, at the axle, you're making, depending on your gear, let's say you're making 1,000 horsepower, 1,000
torque,
pounds of torque at the axle. I'm assuming that number and the BMW's number is at the axle, and it is a very
deceptive almost.
It's a good marketing,
That's crazy sounding. Yeah. Tesla with the Roadster.
Started.
What they say, 10,000, right?
With the Roadster. They started. That's all Tesla's fault, and it just does not work.
But now anybody that's releasing electric vehicles, that's kind of what they do, is they market the torque not as what you'd see at the wheels. And again, you can't really say this as a internal combustion vehicle, because you can't really measure something at the crank, because there's no engine.
No flywheel or anything like that. It's
a motor.
Yeah,
and usually they're direct drive motors.
Direct drive, yeah. And other thing is that I don't think there are any tires big enough. I mean, wide enough.
Can you imagine if something made 10,000 wheel torque? How would you put that to the ground without turning the pavement into dust?
How much horsepower and torque those funny cars make?
I don't know. We'd have to look that up, or if somebody knows, drop it in the comments down below. But yeah, like look
They're
at the kind
also
of
direct drive too.
and look at the kind of tires they need to do that. Yeah.
With
So can you
fat
imagine
tires.
if something made that wheel torque? You see it coming out of the showroom with like 40-inch
Giant-
drag slicks
and
or
they're
something.
only like 2 psi because
You
it's
need a
like-
wrinkle.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's crazy, but like don't take it too seriously when you see these electric vehicles being released at making thousands of torque. 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, multiple thousand. It's different by the time you measure it at the wheels. It's a little bit deceptive in how they're coming up with that number.
And
But-
also 0 to 60 time, I think that's just an assumption of 3 seconds. It just says 3 seconds. It doesn't say 3.0. It doesn't say
3.9. Yeah.
It just says 3 seconds. So it could be between 3.0 to 3.999.
So it's somewhere between a 3 and a 4 second. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
And again, it's always under ideal conditions.
Yeah, like-
Perfect launch, perfect weather, right temperature
very
tires.
sticky road conditions. A lot of magazines take their cars and do the 0 to 60 and all that stuff. And what I notice is that
They do the rollout.
rolling 0 to 60. So
Yeah.
that's not a from the stop either. So that's really different.
Yeah.
But let's
Enough of the
move
manufacturer
on to
testing.
the-
Let's get back to the Hummer here.
let's move on to the
Why GMC? Well, why aren't they spending the money and bringing back Hummer as a brand? Well, I just answered my own question because it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to bring back. You would somehow have to get your dealers to
You need an infrastructure for this.
different dealerships and all that stuff. With the GMC dealer, they can just say, "Oh, this is a Hummer," and they can just teach those. And look at how messed up Hyundai and Genesis and Kia is. Like it just
They still deal with that.
Yeah.
Like you have Kia that has some more luxury cars now, and then you got Hyundai, and then you got Genesis, and it's a nightmare because
And
you got some
Genesis
dealers trying to
does-
sell all three. Genesis
Yeah.
tried to split off as its own dealer.
and they can't really do it. It's cluster.
It's bad. So good on GM for reusing one of the brands they already have. And GMC is their most known, still established trucking brand. So to release the Hummer under a GMC name, I think that's a good thing.
So when it says truck, do you think it's going to be an SUV or a truck?
It's a really good question. I feel like the execs and the designers at GM are somehow taking a stab at Tesla with the Cybertruck here. So
Okay.
I'm expecting this to be more of an actual pickup truck
So
versus
it's
an
like
SUV. So kind of like the H3T or the H22.
Yeah.
So H2T2. a lot of letters there. But I'm expecting it to be more along the lines of a pickup truck. But you don't know. This could be an SUV. I don't know if there's a market for an SUV that has specs of this, and I really don't know what it's going to cost. That's going to be very, very interesting to me.
I mean, GM is lacking on
Innovation?
yes.
Electric power?
And like a lot of things other than that, Ford is bringing the Bronco. GM does not have a competition to the Bronco, and Colorado ZR2 does not count. That's like a Ranger, and Ranger.
It's a Ranger, yeah.
Raptor might be coming to US, and then what?
Oh, I hope it does.
And then what? There's no Bronco competition,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking this is gonna be like you said. It will probably ride on the Colorado, whatever the GMC.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think.
I was thinking this would be more of a full-size truck.
I would. Ooh. Interesting.
What do you guys think? I want that one in the comments down
Interesting.
below. Like,
Because
is it going
I
to be a
would-
truck? Is it going to be an SUV? And if it's a truck, is it small? Or what is it? What are they
Well,
called now?
I would-
Compact trucks?
It's a compact.
Compact truck
yeah.
or full-size truck?
I would think that because of the last time Hummer, the H33 was around HD3.
But look at
was
the
around.
H1, look at the H2. Those are big boys.
H2
And
was
that's
on
what
the
peop-
Tahoe chassis. It's not the full size.
Still with the body of it.
Yeah.
Like,
But, like,
that's what people
HT3 was
associate with
Colorado,
Hummer.
though.
It was.
And the front end, to me,
a
that
Hummer.
picture
Yeah.
looked like a HD3, to be honest.
For-
That's what it reminded me of.
We're years from that, from what it was before. But obviously they're gonna want this to still look like a Hummer. So you're gonna have the round headlights.
And to be
a
honest,
grill
it would
like
make
that.
more sense if they release it as a mid-size pickup truck. I get.
So conspiracy theory. Here's my idea with all of
Alright,
this.
Hit me.
All these manufacturers are starting to get into electrifying their vehicles, and everybody's kind of making this big concept debut of you saw Ford with the new Mustang, the Mach-E and everything like that. I think this is GM's attempt to get people relating electric vehicles with General Motors.
Okay, I just remember something.
Okay,
This is just that.
This
Right.
is unscripted.
This is just all right. GM has a partnership with the electric truck company.
Okay,
Do you know which one it is?
Rivian.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are about to release their electric pickup truck.
Okay.
And this will, oh my god, this will ride on that.
I think you're right with that. Yeah, because
I
there's
think
already
this
an
will be-
existing platform and everything like this.
Oh my god, I'm so excited because I just
Figured out. You put it all together.
Oh, this is my face when I'm so
That's his
happy.
genuinely unscripted, real surprised face right there.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, yeah.
That would make sense.
And they're about to release their truck.
And if you guys don't know about them, look them up. Rivian, I think it's
And they're-
Rivian.
Yeah, their plant is in Peoria, Illinois. They just took over the Mitsubishi plant, and they're actually there's a lot of Rivian trucks out in the parking lot, and they have SUVs too.
Okay.
So it could be Hummer, SUV, and truck.
This will be interesting.
Yeah,
This really
I think, and what Rivian is not is it a full size pickup truck?
I think it is. I think it's like the same size like an F-150.
Then he's right.
Yeah, so then I could have been right. I didn't even know I was right, but I'm probably right.
Yeah, there you go.
So without getting too much into skepticism of what it's going to ride on and speculating all that, I want to ask, and this is always a fun thing I love to do when we see concept vehicles. What's this going to cost?
Oh man, I think it's gonna be around $50K.
That affordable?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought this
mean,
would be
50K
marketed as more of like a halo vehicle, making that kind of power and that kind of performance. And look at where Tesla's going to be.
So that those numbers could be for the
I got top secret notes from GM right here.
GM. Those are very secret. Those numbers that we just shared, like 1,000 horsepower, 10,000 torque, 0 to 60.
That's
in 3
from
seconds.
GM.
Yeah, that could be for their high level vehicle.
You're right.
And they might have a lower tier, and that could start at 50 because
look at
it
how
makes
that's
sense.
how they all do that now. You have a single drive motor, you've got the dual drive motor. So yeah, there might very well be a peasant economy spec version where it's rear wheel drive only. Single motor makes significantly less power and entry level $40,000-$50,000.
And I'm assuming they want to compete with Tesla, and it would be like 350-mile range, a lower one, and then 550-600-mile range.
But I just want to know, can it tow a house? I mean, if you make that much torque, you should be able to just rip a house out of the ground.
You can tow the Earth around the sun a couple of times.
Just need a trailer hitch rated for that.
Man, but man, I'm still stuck in that. I'm just like blown away with this.
So we're definitely gonna make a follow-up video to this in May, and I want to take this clip and put it back in when and if you're right about putting this connection with GM's partnerships there.
And it makes sense though. It makes total sense, and it doesn't make sense to bring that review because they're already invested in that, and their company is new company. They don't really have any. They're not.
There's no brand established. Nobody really knows.
Yeah, they're not like Tesla or something like that. So help with the sales and help with their cost of
use the research they've already got.
Yeah. So since they don't have any background information on this electric, besides that electric cars they release, but there's a lot of knowledge on Riviera, it makes more sense. Rivian, yeah, not Riviera. That's a Buick. But anyway, it makes more sense to use that and make their truck just like that,
rather than start from scratch and do it all over again. Yeah.
It makes it's cheaper and man. Yep, there you go.
Got it all figured out. Heard it here first. Focus
done.
Garage 2020.
Focus Garage brings you the best information ever.
So what we really want to know is, what do you guys think about this vehicle? Is it okay that they're calling it a Hummer? Is it going to be successful? Are people going to buy it? Do you think it's going
to be like Tesla truck with like crazy angles? Probably not.
I think it'll look relatively conservative. I have hopes that this will be a good looking vehicle.
Yeah.
Hummers were popular in kind of the pop culture aspect of it. It was a very like movie star, rap star thing.
The Hummer. I'm a square line kind of person.
It's what a SUV should look like, not a crossover based SUV, but a boxy, rugged SUV.
And by the way, Hummer.
So I hope they capture that. I hope they don't just put an aggressive front end and a soft body and just ruin this, because that would be sad. If you're naming it Hummer, you've got to keep it a Hummer.
I want square body panels.
I want square windows. I want everything square except for the headlights. That's it.
A headlight square would be cool too.
It would be cool. But definitely let us know what you think in the comments down below, because this is an interesting one. We don't really know much about it yet, but we wanted to get our thoughts out there and kind of our projections and our speculation.
And if we get any information from Chicago Auto Show, we'll probably share with you guys. We'll call this a part 1, whatever, and then make a part 2 from Chicago Auto Show with the secrets from the GM.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. I don't have much more thoughts to say until we get to see more about it and learn more about it. So definitely, if you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to us down below. And
kudos all for watching.
Catch you in the next one.